If you are considering turning on your Social Security benefits soon, this video is for you. So as a certified financial planner, we compiled a list of all the variables that go into this decision when we're working with clients that range from filing early versus waiting till full retirement age versus waiting until 70. What are the tax implications of actually turning on Social Security benefits? What are the survivor benefits? What are the spousal benefits? What are the benefits to your dependents? All these things factor into determining what is the right age for you to start your Social Security. We'll start off with the most basic, which is what makes you eligible to even receive Social Security retiree benefits. So you have to earn 40 credits to be eligible to turn on your Social Security retiree benefit. And the way this works is it's essentially 10 years worth of earning history. And the way they do it is the 40 credits, you get 1 credit for every calendar quarter that you made at least $1,810 in earnings. So if you total all that up, 10 years worth of working, which is kind of 40 quarters, that's what makes you eligible to file. The amount of the benefit that you receive is largely dependent on the age of when you turn on Social Security benefits. So you can turn them on as early as age 62 in most cases. For most individuals born after 1960, the full retirement age, or when you're entitled to your full benefit, is age 67. And then you can delay it as long as 70, which is where Social Security benefits cap out and they stop going up. So, but if you turn on at age 62, for each year you file prior to your full retirement age, there is a 6% permanent reduction in your benefit. Vice versa, if you wait to file until after your full retirement age, which may be 67, you get an 8% increase every single year until you reach age 70 where it caps out. However, if you decide to turn on your Social Security benefits early, which means prior to your full retirement age benefit, so you decide to turn it on at 62 or 64, 65, if you are still employed and making income, you have to be very aware of the Social Security earned income penalty, which says if you make more than $23,400 in 2025, then for every $2 you earn over the threshold, they take back $1 of your Social Security benefit that you received. For example, if you turn on Social Security age 63, and let's say you make $30,000 in 2025, that is over the $23,400 threshold by $6,600. So it's a 50% penalty. So essentially 50% of $6,600 is $3,300. So they're going to take back $3,300 of the Social Security benefit that you received as part of that earned income penalty. The good news in this is once you reach full retirement age, so once you reach 67 and you turn on your Social Security benefit, there is no more earned income penalty. You can make as much as you want and they don't penalize your Social Security benefit. The next item we're going to cover is the 50% spousal benefit. So the way Social Security benefits work is if you're married, you can either receive your Social Security benefit or 50% of your spouse's benefit, whichever is higher. For example, let's say your Social Security benefit at age 67 is supposed to be $1,000, but your spouse's benefit at age 67 is going to be $3,000. Since half of $3,000 is $1,500, and you could either take yours at $1,000 or 50% of your spouse's at $1,500. You can elect the 50% spousal benefit, and you will receive that $1,500 per month. There are a few qualifiers that you have to meet in order to be eligible to claim this 50% spousal benefit on your spouse's earnings history. So number one is you yourself have to be age 62 to make you eligible to claim this 50% spousal benefit. Number two, your spouse that you're claiming the 50% on has to have turned on their Social Security benefit. So if you're both 62 and your spouse hasn't turned on their Social Security benefit yet, you are not eligible to claim the 50% spousal benefit until they have physically started their Social Security payments. Qualifier number three is you must have been married at least a year, or in cases of divorce, if you were married more than 10 years and then you get divorced and you didn't remarry before age 60, you are still entitled to the 50% spousal benefit even though you're not married when you file. Now we're going to transition over to Social Security survivor benefits. So if something happens to the person that passes away, what is their spouse entitled to, their children entitled to? That's what we're going to cover in this section. For someone who's married and there's two spouses, When one spouse passes away, the other spouse just receives the higher of the two benefits. So let's say you are married to your spouse, you're receiving $1,000 a month, and your spouse is receiving $3,000 a month. Your spouse passes away, you would essentially graduate up to their $3,000 amount, but your Social Security benefit would end. There is a unique filing strategy for a surviving spouse when it comes to Social Security benefits. So not only do you graduate to the higher amount, but remember I said you can file for Social Security benefits until age 62. There's an exception for what's considered the widow's benefit. So if you're a widow and you're entitled to this survivor benefit, you can turn on their benefit as early as age 60 instead of 62. Now you get a reduced amount. So their full benefit is only entitled to you if you file at full retirement age for you. If you turn it on at age 60, it's going to be greatly reduced. But what this allows a surviving spouse to do is you can claim and start their benefit at age 60, collect it on their earning history, and then at age 70, when your personal benefit's at its highest, you can switch over to your higher amount. For the children, if the decedent had a child that was under the age of 18, they are entitled to a portion of the decedent's Social Security benefit that they receive up until the month of their 18th birthday. For a decedent that has an adult child that's disabled, as long as that disability began before age 22, they may also be entitled to a survivor benefit. And the final survivor benefit, which is a surprise to many, are for divorced couples. So if you were married at least 10 years, similar to the 50% spousal benefit, if you were married more than 10 years and you did not remarry prior to age 60, the ex-spouse is also entitled to that survivor benefit where you step up to the full amount of the decedent's Social Security benefit, regardless of whether they remarried. So there's cases where if someone was married more than 10 years to two people, they could actually both claim the full Social Security benefit based on the decedent's earnings history. The next Social Security topic we're going to talk about is the dependent benefit for minor children. So this is, you turn on your Social Security benefit at age 62, 63. If you still have children that are under the age of 18, they are also entitled to receive a portion of your Social Security benefit. The way it works is minor children under the age of 18, they can receive up to 50% of your full retirement age benefit as long as the parent has started receiving their own Social Security benefit. So for example, someone turns age 62, they turn on their own Social Security benefit, but they have a 12-year-old child in their house. They can collect their 62 benefit, but that 12-year-old child is entitled to half of their full retirement age benefit at 67. Let's say that was $2,200. So the child can receive $1,100 per month, every single month until they reach age 18. Now, there are a lot of special rules associated with this dependent child benefit, especially if you have multiple kids, how that earned income penalty works for both your benefits and your kids' benefits. There's so many rules that I will include a link in the description of this video below to our video that's specific to this dependent child benefit. Let's talk about taxation of Social Security benefits. So a lot of people are surprised to find out that a lot of people, when they receive their Social Security benefit, you actually have to pay tax on it. So this was tax that was taken out of your paycheck, but then when you receive it, you may have to pay tax on it again. And Social Security has a special formula called a provisional income formula, which determines the proportion of your Social Security that's subject to taxation. For some people, it'll be none of their Social Security is taxable. For others, 50% taxable. And for the highest, it's 85% taxable at the federal level. Here is the provisional income formula that Social Security uses to determine how much of your Social Security benefit is going to be subject to tax at the federal level. So it's your AGI, or adjusted gross income, plus any tax-exempt interest, like from municipal bonds, plus 50% of the actual Social Security benefit that you receive. You total all that up, and that determines what amount of your Social Security benefit is subject to taxes. For single filers, once their provisional income is more than $25,000, 85% of their Social Security benefit is taxed at the federal level. For individuals married filing joint, the threshold is $32,000. Once the provisional income is above $32,000, 85% of their Social Security benefit is taxed at the Fed level. Now, I keep saying Fed level because Social Security benefits, if you're subject to this taxation, is at the federal level. There are a few states in the U.S. that do tax Social Security at the state level, but most states do not. For most states, it is not subject to state income tax. As you can see, there's a ton of variables that factor into determining what the right Social Security filing strategy is for you. And unfortunately, if you try to call Social Security to ask any questions, you're typically on hold for hours if you get to talk to anyone at all. So we usually stress the benefits of working with planners that know the Social Security system, because we're talking about a lot of money. We're talking about taxation. We're talking about survivor benefit for your family. And usually you get one shot at making the right decision. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at greenbushfinancial.com. Thank you.